Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and Netflix's Blonde has been an enigma at the center of a controversy ever since the announcement that this Marilyn Monroe biopic would be rated NC-17. Now, the film is here, and the truth behind the speculation is revealed. Many early reviews from mainstream and access media sites have rated this film very low, criticizing it for being overly artsy and highly pretentious. However, that is not the case whatsoever. This is one of the most brilliantly written and well-performed biopics to be released in many years. Ana de Armas shines, bringing the classic Hollywood legend to life with an Oscar-worthy performance that defines her career. The accusations of artsy and pretentious are wholly misplaced, as the film centers around Marilyn's prevalence for madness, born from her abusive childhood and the loss of several children. It was essential for the audience to see her reality through her warped and twisted lens. The beautiful and erratic art style used in the cinematography and editing of this film keeps the audience on the edge of their seats, deeply disturbing them and placing them within the head of this timeless blonde. The primary criticism that can be labeled at this film is its exorbitant length. Much of it feels justified and necessary to the story being told, but there are moments which could easily have been cut from the film to reduce its near 3-hour runtime. Blonde is covering an entire lifetime's worth of important events, so it's an understandable problem, yet still falls into the realm of rightful criticism. I personally don't know the story at all whatsoever, so I can't speak to its historical accuracy, but the story it is telling is rich and compelling. It may not adhere to the customary rules and structures of filmmaking, but achieves what it sets out to do. This is the type of film that I really appreciated and enjoyed, though I doubt I'll ever rewatch it. At the end of the day, this is a character study more than a narrative. Understanding Marilyn's psyche was far more important than keeping to the rules of filmmaking. The early controversy surrounding this film that got it into the public eye was the question of whether or not it deserved its NC-17 rating. In answer to that, perhaps. It could have just as easily been a rated R film, though there is substantial nudity and sexual content, which might barely justify the rating. However, this content is essential to understanding the current mental state of Marilyn Monroe. American sex idol was embroiled in sex. Nothing else would be expected. The beginning of the film is difficult to watch, especially for those who experience abusive childhoods. Marilyn is raised by a single mother who blames her for her father's absence. This blame and anger soon turns into madness and violent outbursts that leads to attempted murder. Already a broken and scarred child, Marilyn is forced into Child Protective Services, beginning her journey to the superstar known the world over. All of these early scenes of young Marilyn are visceral and extremely difficult to watch. However, they are essential to understanding where she comes from and where her own mental tribulations are derived. The performance of her mother is both frightening and sympathetic. You almost wish she had the life she always wished for. The film is riddled with moments of Marilyn acting or auditioning for roles that feature Anna acting like she's acting in so many subtle and brilliant ways. These moments are when she displays the truest and purest form of her talent, recreating the pain of this tortured superstar. Though some of her trials are her own fault, it cannot be understated how she was unmoored in a sea of abuse and villainy that is Hollywood. Few actresses of current year could both pull off and look the part so perfectly. Blonde is unlikely to favor well in politically infused circles. Some may believe that this is a feminist propaganda film, rightfully so considering current-day Hollywood. In contrast, others will be enraged by the film's depiction of abortion, miscarriage, and motherhood. Blonde merely wishes to tell its story with potentially sensitive subject matter without the baggage of current-day political influence. The woke left of Twitter, in particular, may severely dislike the depiction of abortion throughout this film. While Marilyn is young, she's overjoyed to discover that she's with child, though the joy does not last. As a result of tragedy and abandonment, she decides to have an abortion, but changes her mind too late. This moment truly instigates the beginning of her descent into madness. When she's next pregnant much later, she has visions of the child begging for her life, begging that her mother does not do to her what she did to her first baby. Once again, tragedy strikes, and Marilyn miscarries. This second lost child is what sends her over the edge into drug and alcohol abuse. Her issues only get worse and worse as the years progress after that. Everything comes to a head when she's again pregnant, most likely with the president's child. During this time, she cannot tell fiction from reality, and knows not why or how she lost this child, but it is likely due to her still rampant drug and alcohol abuse. This third and final child's loss is what leads to her death in the end. Twitter will doubtless hate her desire for motherhood and the impact that an abortion had upon her life and psyche. However, Blonde is not weaponizing this history to be some sort of pro-life message. It is instead merely just trying to tell this story and the pain that this legend endured. Blonde is not an easy watch for those who have struggled much in their lives or for those who don't often watch overly artsy films. Despite this, it is a beautifully made, written, and performed film that lets the audience see intimately into the mind of Marilyn Monroe. The general distaste for this film by access and mainstream medias, and even much of the audience, is confusing and likely misplaced. Blonde, without question, should be a shoo-in for all the major Oscar categories. I'd have to give this film an 8.5 easily. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Anon. If you like what I do here and want to see good, compelling stories that Hollywood will no longer give you, check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues. Books 1, Down in Flames, and Book 2, Apocalypse Then, currently on sale. Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming soon.